Evolution of universe. Our universe began with an explosion of itself, the Big Bang. Starting from extremely high temperature and density, space expanded, the universe cooled and simplest elements formed. The formation of chemicals set the stage for the emergence of galaxies, stars, planets, and other celestial bodies. Moons were also formed. Our Earth and Sun emerged over 4.5 billion years ago. Around 3.7 billion years ago, life began on Earth. How the first organisms emerged on Earth is still a mystery. The first organisms were simple-celled organisms lacking a nucleus, something like a bacteria. Different stages of evolution of universe. Hot Big Bang, rapid expansion of universe. Nucleosynthesis, formation of light elements, hydrogen, helium and lithium, and formation of subatomic particles. Recombination, hydrogen and helium nuclei capture electrons to form stable atoms. Galaxy formation era, stars, galaxies, and formation of other celestial bodies. Birth of solar system, sun and other planets were formed and life began on Earth.
Theory of special creation. The theory of special creation is proposed that life on earth is created by supernatural power, the God. Theory of special creation was given by Father Suarez. According to the Christian belief, God has created the universe, planet, animal, plant, and humans in 6 natural days. Similar beliefs are also being proposed by other religions as well. Theory of panspermia. Theory of panspermia emphasized that life on Earth came from space. The early Greek thinkers believed that life came in form of spores from space that were transported along the meteorites that collided with Earth. The theory of spontaneous generation. The theory of spontaneous generation propagated the idea that life spontaneously emerges from decaying rotting matter like growth of maggots and rats from decaying food. The theory was disapproved by experiments done by various scientists. Later, Louis Pasteur proposed the theory of life emerges from pre-existing life forms. Theory of chemical evolution. The primitive Earth comprised of silicates, molten iron, and nickel, gases like ammonium, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, nitrogen, water, Oparin of Russia and Haldane of England proposed that first form of life originated from pre-existing non-living organic molecules, and the formation of life was preceded by chemical evolution where diverse organic molecules formed from inorganic constituents. The theory of biogenesis. The theory of biogenesis is based on the idea that life can only come from life, and it refers to any process by which life form can give rise to another life form. It is an important theory of biology and molecular genetics which postulate the production of new living organisms from pre-existing life. The theory of biogenesis was given by Henry Charlton Best.
The Earth, the only home we know, is just a speck of dust when compared to the size of the universe. There is much more beyond this, but how much do we know? That is why I am here to expand your views beyond our Earth and our galaxy, the Milky Way. The Milky Way, with approximately around 10,000 to 40,000 stars, has been part of the universe for 13.51 billion years now. Believe me, there are galaxies out there that are larger and older than this. Covering them all would be an impossible task without me boring you out. That is why let's see our galactic neighborhood only. The Andromeda Galaxy, our neighbor, is a giant swirl of stars that are around 2.5 million light years away from us. And I am telling you, one light year is around 9.5 trillion kilometers. That's how far it is. Zooming out about 10 million light years away from us, we see the local group. The local group is the galaxy group that we are a part of. The local group contains two collections of galaxies that appear to be in a dumbbell shape when zoomed out. Further away, about 65 million light years from our home, we see the Virgo supercluster. From its name, the Virgo supercluster is made of the Virgo cluster and the local group. Being one of the 10 million such superclusters, they all make up the observable universe. This is where we have to end, as things could get blurry and unknown after this. But let's not forget that we are part of nothing but a speck of dust when compared to the universe.
The universe began with an explosion of space itself, the Big Bang. Starting from extremely high density and temperature, space expanded. In the Hadron Epoch, the universe cooled down and formed protons and neutrons. In the Lepton and nuclear epochs, they fused and created nuclei, and in doing so, they created the first chemical element in the universe, helium. Atomic epoch. Electrons to attach to nuclei for the first time called recombination. This process helped create the universe's second element, hydrogen. This hydrogen along with helium atoms dotted the universe with atomic clouds. These clusters of atoms formed during the galactic epoch become the seedlings of galaxy. Nestled inside those galaxies, star begins to form. Heat within the star caused the conversion of helium and hydrogen into almost all the remaining elements in the universe. A giant cloud floated in one of the spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy. This cloud, called nebula, was made up of dust and gas, mostly hydrogen and helium. In a process of nuclear fission, a tiny bit of matter transformed into a whole lot of energy and a star was born. In this way, our sun came into being. The sun swirled around it into a flat disk of dust and gas. This disk is called an accretion disk. Each planet began as microscopic grains of dust in the accretion disk. The atoms and molecules began to stick together or accrete into larger particles. For some 10 to 100 million years, these protoplanets orbited the sun that resulted in more frequent collisions. Worlds collided, combined and evolved for a dramatic period of time. When it was over, there remained 8 stable planets that had swept their orbits clean.
Welcome to the journey of universe. Let's start our journey with getting ourselves settled in the space shuttle. And don't forget to tighten your seatbelt. Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and lift off of the space shuttle and into the sky. Pit stops are more like International Space Station, but the difference is the astronauts can dock the space shuttle and get it refueled for the further space travel, and they can also take rest and later continue their mission. The main aim of space tourism is to make space access available for the public and let the people discover the fantasies of the universe. There are a lot of stories about aliens which are considered as real, but we'll take it as a myth as no one has seen a real alien. Let's talk about Area 51, which is a military base and associated with aliens. But no formal or official record has been recorded. The people who deem to see alien ships must have seen the U-2 airplanes built by America, which could fly up to a height of 60,000 feet. Let me give you some information about unknown facts of our planets in the solar system. Mars has the longest valley, which is called Valles Marineris. Venus has super powerful winds. Mercury keeps shrinking each and every day. Pluto is smaller in diameter than the state of US, and Jupiter has the biggest ocean of any planet. India is one of the 4 countries to have its own space defense technology. It achieved this feat by launching ASAT missile and Mission Prithvi. India conducted its first simulated space warfare exercise on 25th and 26th July 2019 called Ind Space X. The exercise was conducted under the supervision of Integrated Defense Staff. The exercise was aimed at obtaining an assessment of threats and creation of a joint space warfare doctrine. Asteroid mining is the process of mining out of all useful resources from the asteroid without moving it. The plan will be executed in the future, and NASA is planning to send a rover to asteroid 16 Psyche and study the resources available in it. The asteroid is worth 10,000 quadrillion US dollars. Wormholes can be found in white holes, which can be used for teleportation of a person from present to future. E is equal to mc squared by Einstein can be used for time travel, and scientists are currently under the process of making the world's first time travel machine. In near future, by probably 2060, there will be existence of colonies in Mars and Moon due to existence of water and other basic needs required for the survival of human beings. The Earth also has a magnetic field just like a normal magnet. This magnetic field is used as a resistance from the solar flare which is emitted by the sun. The solar flare are dangerous to human life and can cause skin cancer. Thus, magnetic field works as a shield. Big Bang theory explains the existence of our universe to what it is today. Every passing second, the universe keeps expanding. So, indirectly, our universe is infinite. So now let us talk about different types of rain which happen in different planets. It rains water in Earth, which we probably know. But do you know it rains sulfuric acid in Venus, which will literally burn our skin? And it rains diamond in Neptune, so we all can probably become rich. And it rains methane in Titan, so I'm sure you would not like to go out for a rain dance. Corrosion is a problem in space too. It is due to vacuum and UV rays. Thus, billions of dollars of money is spent in order to repair the International Space Station. Thank you so much for joining us in this knowledgeable and adventurous ride, and we hope you enjoyed it. So, see you next time. Until then, goodbye.
What lay beyond the world we know and see has been a question pondered by many through the ages. Throughout history, there are records of different answers provided by different civilizations to this question. They have covered rudimentary astronomy, like the number of planets in the solar system and how they orbit the sun, to some incredibly advanced concepts like string theory in the quantum field. What is interesting about such ancient theories and explanations is that it should not have been possible for such early humans to have been able to comprehend such concepts with their primitive understanding of science. Although their interpretations pervade more into mysticism than actual science, their scientific credibility is surprisingly high. We will be exploring a few such ancient astronomical concepts. Some of the world's oldest cave paintings show that ancient people had a fairly advanced understanding of astronomy. Artwork discovered at Paleolithic sites across Europe depict animal symbols that not only represent star constellations in the night sky, but also illustrate how humans kept track of time using the change in position of stars over thousands of years. This is proof that humans who lived 40,000 years ago possess knowledge of star positions changing gradually. Details of Paleolithic and Neolithic art with animal symbols in Turkey, Spain, France, and Germany, studied by researchers from the universities of Edinburgh and Kent, showed that all these sites used the same method of date keeping, which was based on sophisticated astronomy, despite the art being tens of thousands of years apart. These findings suggest that these ancient humans were aware of the concept of the precession of equinoxes, a phenomenon that causes constellations to appear to shift in the sky over a cycle of approximately 25,920 years. The research of these European universities also resulted in the decoding of what is possibly the most famous example of ancient artwork, the Lascaux shaft scene. A series of cave paintings depicting a dying man and several animals, it could be an astronomical record of a comet strike that occurred around 15,200 years ago, similar to that of the stone carvings at Göbekli Tepe. There is proof in ancient Indian texts that Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus were discovered before the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries, respectively. These planets, which are not visible to the naked eye, were mentioned in religious texts from 5,000 years ago. The answer to how these planets that are not visible to the naked eye were discovered back then is answered by a 12th century carving at the Hoysaleshwar temple in Karnataka, which depicts the man using a telescope. The Mahabharata also makes a reference to mirrors and microscopic vision, which suggests that telescopes and lenses existed at the time. As for the planets, Vyas mentions a greenish-white planet crossing a star, while Nilakanta, a scholar from the 17th century, also seemed to have been aware of this greenish-white planet, which was later discovered to denote Uranus. Neptune was referred to as bluish-white in Sanskrit by Vyas, and Nilakanta has stated that the orbit of this planet might be close to the whole solar system's circumference. Vyas assumed Pluto to be a star since it remained stationary for a long period of time, but later believed it to be a planet in the outer orbit. Apart from the number of planets, ancient Indians also seem to possess accurate knowledge of the shape of them. The round shape of Earth is depicted in the story of the Varaha avatar of Vishnu, according to which the god took the form of a boar to rescue Earth that was being dragged to the bottom of the sea by a demon. In this depiction, when he carries Earth out from underneath the sea, the Earth is described to be spherical in shape. This is proof that Indians knew of the Earth's shape and its revolution around the Sun millennia before the Europeans. From the Vedas, it is clear that they were not only aware of the planets orbiting the Sun, but also of the Sun's gravitational force that prevented other celestial bodies from colliding with each other. Ancient Indian astronomers referred to these celestial bodies as Navagrahas, which seem to represent the 9 planets of the heliocentric solar system. The Sumerian civilization is acknowledged by historians as the oldest of all civilizations. Unfortunately, most of this civilization's records were destroyed, leaving only a few intriguing hints about its complex society. The Babylonian civilization is thought to have received Sumerian knowledge through indirect transmission. Babylonian documents employ Sumerian names for constellations. In 12th century BCE, Babylonian astronomers began compiling lists of visible stars organized into constellations, many of which have Sumerian names, while some like Cancer, Taurus, Scorpio, etc. are still recognized today. The Babylonians' development of the degree system to differentiate places in the sky, which is similar to the one used today to calculate latitude and longitude, was one of their greatest discoveries. Sumerian law proposes the existence of 11 planets that revolve around the Sun. A 6,000-year-old cylinder seal imprint depicts 11 celestial bodies circling what is assumed to be the Sun. This also suggests that a civilization dating back to 3500 BC was aware of the concept of the heliocentric solar system, which was not discovered until the 17th century. A similar such concept that has been proposed by ancient civilizations but was not known to mankind until millennia later includes the theories of Seleucus of Seleucia, a Chaldean of the later Babylonian Empire. Chaldeans were individuals responsible for studying the skies at the time. Seleucus was the first to propose that the moon and its location relative to the sun were responsible for the Earth's tides and their height. Further, Pluto was found by NASA after it was found that Sumerians mistakenly claimed the existence of a 12th planet in the solar system. Archaeoastronomy is the study of how people in the past have understood the phenomena in the sky, how they used these phenomena, and what role the sky played in their culture. Through certain ancient structures and monuments, it is easy to understand just how astronomically advanced a civilization was, although it is difficult to explain how this advancement exceeded the time period. Ancient Egyptians seem to represent such astronomical structures through their sun temples and pyramids aligning with the stars and the Earth's cardinal points. The four sides of the Great Pyramid of Giza align accurately to face north, east, south, and west with an error of less than half a degree and are virtually identical in length with less than a 20 centimeter variation between one side and the other. Further, the three pyramids of Giza perfectly align with the constellation of Orion's belt, the Nile representing the Milky Way, and the Sphinx aligning with the constellation of Leo. The Stonehenge is the most architecturally sophisticated prehistoric stone circle in the world. It is carefully aligned in such a way that from the center, one has a clear view of the summer solstice sun rising over the heel stone, which is known as the midsummer alignment, while the view of the winter solstice sun setting is known as the midwinter alignment. The Stonehenge also has a view of the southerly moon rising from a particular position. The northeast-southwest diagonal grand staircase of the Mayan site of Chichen Itza also aligns with these alignments. This site is also home to other ancient astronomical sites, a noteworthy one being El Caracol, a Mayan observatory that is aligned to follow the path of Venus throughout the year, with the grand staircase leading up to the one cylindrical structure deviating from its surrounding structures to align with the northern extreme of Venus. String theory in particle physics is a theory that attempts to merge quantum mechanics with Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity. In simple words, string theory proposes that the universe is made up of one-dimensional strings rather than particles. String theory, if proved, will revolutionize our current understanding of the origin of the universe and everything since. What's interesting is that string theory could have had its origins rooted in the Vedas. The Vedas mention how Vayu is a concept that is present throughout, and hence the whole universe is woven together through Vayu. The Vedic concept of Vayu represents the strings in the quantum field. Although the Vedic explanation is more mystic and philosophical than scientific, the result is wave particles and strings. The Vedic explanation of the creation of the universe also relates to string theory. According to the Vedas, the first ever sound in the universe was Om, which is considered the first manifestation. According to string theory, the strings vibrate in different directions, producing resonance, which is also the first manifestation. Superstrings are geometric shapes present in this evolving universe. The final stage of creation, according to unified field theory, is the vibration of superstrings, 192 to be precise. Rig Veda mentions 192 vibrations known as suttas, which precede the creation of the universe.
Hi, my name is Ananya. My topic is multiverse. What is a multiverse? The multiverse is a theory in which our own universe is not the only one, but states that many universes exist parallel to each other. These distinct universes within the multiverse theory are called parallel universe. For some of us, the idea of parallel universe sparks our wildest dreams. The concept of the multiverse arises due to the theory of cosmic inflation. Inflation theory brings together ideas from quantum physics and particle physics to explore the early moments of the universe following the Big Bang. According to inflation theory, the universe was created in an unstable energy state which found a rapid expansion of the universe in its early moments.
Hi, I'm Apramaya and I'm going to be sharing some facts about nebulae. If you see, nebulae consist of similar substances that we see in stars, that is these dust, gaseous molecules, globules, etc. This is because when star dies, it loses its materials in space and these materials combine together forming complex nebulae. You see, nebulae are not really static like we see in pictures. Instead, they are mobile and hence the clouds combine together and mix and churn together, creating complex magnetic field. There are various types of nebulae in space, that is emission nebulae, dark globules, reflection nebulae, etc. Emission nebulae are those that obtains light when gases are being heated, and reflection nebulae are those that reflects the light of stars present around it. There are various types of nebulae in space, and astronomers have gone in spirals to prove this point. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'll be telling you about the mysterious disappearances of space. Dark matter and dark energy easily swallow up 95% of the entire cosmos that leaves all the matter we have ever been able to see, touch, feel, smell, taste, or probe with the satellites and telescopes. Astrophysicists have theorized from the detective work that the missing matter might be stuck between galaxies in a sludge of hot plasma, otherwise known as warm hot intergalactic medium. Some have even suggested they could be in the shroud of gas surrounding the Milky Way. Bearing abduction by the Demogorgon, how and why these baryons ended up there is a whole other case that still needs to be investigated. Thank you.
The gas giants. Magnetic field of planets like Earth is thought to have been caused by flow of metals like iron at the core, whereas in Jupiter, hydrogen is also present and conducts like a metal, so the origin of its field is unclear. Uranus and Neptune have skewed magnetic field and are tilted at an angle away from their axis. This could be due to their internal composition. Both the planets lack the striking color. Scientists have said that this could be because the inner core is uncovered or composed mainly of water.
Hello everyone, I'm Rashon. The 2012 phenomenon was a range of eschatological belief that transformative events would occur on or around 21 December 2012. This date was regarded as the end date of a 5,126-year-long cycle in the Mesoamerican long count calendar, and festivities took place on 21 December 2012 to commemorate the event in the countries that were part of the Maya civilization. A New Age interpretation held that the date marked the start of a period during which Earth and its inhabitants would undergo a positive physical or spiritual transformation, and the 21 December 2012 would mark the beginning of a new era. And the idea that the long count calendar ends in 2012 misrepresented a Mayan history and culture. Astronomers rejected the various proposed doomsday scenarios as pseudoscience, which is refuted by eliminatory astronomical observations.
Hi friends, I am VG Praveen. I am going to talk about Planet 9 conspiracy.
In 2016, a few scientists found a handful of objects that were revolving in unusual orbits in the icy Kuiper belt beyond Neptune at the edge of our solar system. This planet was referred to as Planet 9. It was said that this Planet 9 would destroy Earth by throwing asteroids and comets by the end of April 2016. Although the planet's existence has not been confirmed till date, that is, there are no pictures to prove that this planet exists. The only thing confirmed about this planet 9 is that Earth is out of danger, as no asteroids or comets hit Earth to destroy it. The Planet 9 conspiracy is still a mystery in the space world. Thank you.
Throughout millenniums, Earth has gone through a lot of changes. In this constant evolving nature of this world, people have constantly questioned various beliefs in different times. And one such question is, what is the shape of the Earth? In ancient times, people believed that the Earth was flat, though there were Greek philosophers who have claimed that the Earth is spherical in shape even in the 4th and 5th century BCE. It was dismissed by the people of that time, and the modern scientists claim it was just pure speculation without any solid evidences. Modern flat earth belief originated with the English writer Samuel Rowbotham, who proposed that the earth is flat disk centered at the North Pole and bounded along its southern edge by a wall of ice, which is Antarctica. He published it in his leaflet The Inconsistency of Modern Astronomy, and in 1956 Samuel Shenton created the International Flat Earth Research Society, whose objective is quoted, "the propagation of knowledge related to natural cosmogony in confirmation of the Holy Scriptures based on practical scientific investigation." When satellite images showed that the Earth is sphere, Shenton remarked, "It's easy to see how a photograph like this could fool the untrained eye." Shenton died in 1971, and Charles K. Johnson, who was a follower of Shenton, became his successor. Over the next 3 decades, under his leadership, the Flat Earth Society grew to a reported of 3,500 members. Flat Earth Society recruited members by speaking against the government, particularly NASA. As of July 2017, over 500 people became a member. In the internet era, with the help of social media like Facebook and YouTube, it's easy to become famous and provide misinformation to attract people. Today, the Flat Earth Society has a Twitter account at flatearth.org, and they promote the flat earth ideologies.
Good morning all, I'm Rohit and I'm going to talk about moon landing conspiracy theories. Moon landing conspiracy theories. It claims that some of the elements of the Apollo program and the associated moon landings were hoaxes staged by NASA. The most notable claim is that the 6 crewed landings were faked and the 12 Apollo astronauts did not actually walk on the moon. This is still a conspiracy for more than 40 years despite the rebuttals and third-party evidence. Many polls have been taken in various locations and still 60% of the people believe that the crew landings were faked. Thank you.
Today I am going to tell about Apollo 12 lightning strike and head scrape. Apollo 12 was the 6th crewed flight in the United States and second to land on moon. It was launched on November 14, 1969. Crew in it were Charles Conrad, Richard Gordon and Alan Bean. Now let's see about its mission. Got struck twice by lightning just seconds after the rocket lifted. In this image you can see it. As a result, many temporary effects were seen in both launch vehicle and spacecraft, and many permanent effects in spacecraft too. Here, however, with the help of controller John Aaron, who had seen the same malfunctions, helped them, and with the help of him, they were able to reset the signal condition equipment, and with automatic guidance, the crew continued the journey safely, and Conrad and Bean successfully landed on November 19. Thank you.
I am Niranjan of class 12, here to give you some knowledge about the STS-107 space shuttle. STS-107 was the 113th flight of the Space Shuttle program and the 28th and the final of the Space Shuttle sent by Columbia. This mission was launched on 16th January 2003 from the Space Center in Florida, US. When they were coming back to home, the Earth, when they were coming into the atmosphere on 1st Feb, the thermal protection system failed, and due to this, it went out of control and crashed, unfortunately killing all the 7 crew members. The 7 crew members were Rick Husband, Kalpana Chawla, David M. Brown, William C. McCool, Michael P. Anderson, Laurel Clark, and Ilan Ramsden. We know that some of the most heat-resistant materials on the planet are made up of carbon, for example diamond and silicon carbide. This thermal system failure was due to the missing of a foam piece made of the reinforced carbon-carbon panels, which are highly heat resistant. Here are some pictures related to STS-107.
Apollo-Soyuz Test Project. Apollo was launched at July 15, 1975 at 3:50 p.m. The launch site was at Launch Complex 39, Kennedy Space Center, Florida. The flight crew members included Thomas P. Stafford, Vance D. Brand, and Donald K. Slayton, and it was landed at July 24, 1975. Soyuz was launched at July 15, 1975 at 8:20 a.m. The launch site was at Baikonur Cosmodrome, Kazakhstan, and the flight crew members included Alexei A. Lenov and Valery N. Kubasov, and it was landed at July 21, 1975. The astronauts were Thomas Stafford and Vance Branton and Donald Slayton, and the cosmonauts were Alexei Lenov and Valery Kubasov. The Apollo-Soyuz mission began at Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Soyuz 19 launched July 15, 1975 at 8:20 a.m. Both the Soyuz and Apollo vehicles made orbital adjustment during the following 2 days. The global audience watched on television as the historic event unfolded. By mid-afternoon, the final speeches and gift exchanges were complete, and it was time for the astronauts and cosmonauts to say goodbye as the mission was successful. The two spacecraft undocked at July 19 at 8:02 a.m. as the Apollo capsule backed away. It blocked the sun from the Soyuz vehicle, creating the first ever human-made eclipse and enabling the cosmonauts to photograph the sun's corona. It was the last planned ocean landing for US human spaceflight.
Hello everyone, I am Sriram and I will be explaining naturally occurring collisions on space. Space debris comprises both natural meteoroid and artificial orbital debris. Meteoroids are the small planets and rocks orbiting the Sun, while most artificial debris is in orbit about Earth. So we can expect a large number of collisions on it, and some of them affect humans too. Orbital debris is any human-made object in orbit above the Earth no longer serves a useful function. Such debris includes non-functional spacecraft, abandoned launch vehicle stages, mission-related debris, and fragmentation debris. A number of Space Shuttle windows were replaced because of damage caused by material that was analyzed and shown to be paint flecks. Impact craters on many Jupiter and Saturn's moons. Impact craters are the huge depressions on the ground caused on the surface of the planet due to attack of meteoroids. They may have been found by collision with smaller moons, but they could equally likely have been found by impact with asteroids and comets during the late heavy bombardment. The far side of the Moon may have formed from the impact of a smaller moon that also formed during the giant impact of the event that created the Moon. The objects making up the rings of Saturn are believed to be continuously colliding each other and aggregate with each other. leading to the debris with limited size constraint to a thin plan. Although this is believed to be an ongoing process, this has not been directly observed because we can't go. Still now, no one has gone there and seen about the Saturn rings. In 1996, a French satellite was hit and damaged by debris from a French rocket that had exploded a decade earlier. On Feb 10, 2009, a defunct Russian spacecraft collided with and destroyed a functioning US Iridium commercial spacecraft. The collision added more than 2,300 pieces of large trackable debris and many more smaller debris to the inventory of space junk. This is what I said as space waste. China's 2007 anti-satellite test, which used a missile to destroy an old weather satellite, added more than 3,500 pieces of large trackable debris and many more smaller debris to the debris problem. Satellite collision avoidance. How is NASA and other space missions avoiding satellite collisions? Satellite operators frequently maneuver their satellites to avoid potential collisions. Maneuvering is the using propulsion system to change the orbit of the spacecraft. For the space station, if the probability of the collision is greater than 1 in 1 lakh, a maneuver will be conducted if it will not result in significant impact to mission objectives. If it is greater than 1 in 10,000, a maneuver will be conducted unless it will result in additional risk to the crew. Here is where MAX is being used. Debris avoidance maneuvers are usually small and occur from 1 to several hours before the time of conjunction. Such maneuvers with the space station require about 5 hours to plan and it will be executed appropriately.
I'm Siddharth of Class 12A. STS-51L was a disastrous 25th mission of United States Space Shuttle Program. The motto of the mission is to carry out routine transportation for Earth to orbit, crew and cargo. The mission was not successful in reaching the orbit due to a structural failure during its ascent phase after the launch of Kennedy Space Center on Jan 28, 1986, killing all 7 crew members including Commander Dick Scobie and pilot Michael Smith. The failure of an O-ring seal on the starboard solid rocket booster was determined to have the cost in the shuttle to break up in flight. Shuttle mission was resumed in the year 1988 with STS-26 launched 32 months after the accident.
I'm Vaishak Vinay of Class 12A here to say about the space debris. Space debris is nothing but the artificial objects or the waste objects which are floating in our Earth's orbit which no longer serve as a useful function to us. This include the non-functional spacecraft, abandoned launch vehicles and the parts of rocket bodies and spacecraft. Then, as of October 2019, the US Space Surveillance Network reported nearly 20,000 artificial objects in our space. Then there are more than 128 million pieces of debris which are lesser than 1 centimeter. The collision of minute particle with the solar panel of a satellite can cause a lot of serious hazard. Now we move to the facts of space debris. In 2007, China deliberately destroyed one of the air weather satellites to test a new weapon. This contributed over 3,000 pieces of space debris, and this is considered as one of the largest debris created by man. A piece of space debris can reach a speed of 4 to 5 miles per second. That's nearly 7 times faster than that of a bullet. Thank you.
We, the students of Class 12, have been tasked with an interesting and informative book called Psychology of Space Exploration. This book talked about many untalked and indulging topics about space exploration. We will get a more detailed review about the book by Class 12 students. To know more about this book, let's see what does this book talks about. Number 1. Managing interpersonal conflict in space. Number 2. Managing negative interactions in space crews and the role of stimulative research. Number 3. Gender composition and crew cohesion during long-duration space missions. Number 4. Flying with strangers, post-mission reflections of multinational space crews. Number 5. Space flight and cross-cultural psychology.